Hello and welcome to Wisdom Bites. Hope you're well. Thank you once again for joining us. Very much appreciated. And in today's video, I'm just going to have a special update on the current price as we've been meeting our targets that we'd set a few weeks ago. I'm also going to have a look at why, if you've missed this big move here, there's no need to panic at all. And I'll go through some of the charts previously to show you exactly why there isn't any need to panic here. And I'll have a look at the Bitcoin miners prices and see how it's being reflected from the increase in the Bitcoin price in the last couple of days. So if that sounds interesting, without further ado, get yourself a cup of tea, sit yourself down, eyes on the screen, and let's get cracking. Before we begin, the usual disclaimer, please remember everything in my videos is just for educational purposes, so please do your wider research before you make any investment decisions. Okay, so with that out of the way, I'm going to go into the 60-day cycle straight away and show you exactly what's been happening in the last 24 hours since the last video I did yesterday. So just like we did in the previous cycle, we came to a certain resistance around here where it went sideways for a while before we had this breakout to the 18.3. And I mentioned in yesterday's video that it seems to be doing exactly the same here. We've come to some sort of a resistance point at 21.4, which was our previous target, and now it's breaking through just like it broke through here. And having met our target at 21,400, and this is why we had this resistance point and the price going sideways for a few days, we've now broken out of that and now met our second target, which was at 22,800, based on this previous rejection at this point here. And what we're waiting for now is our next target at 25,000. Now that may not come immediately. As you can see, we're going sideways again here. So we can expect quite a few days of going sideways before it tries to make up its mind. The good thing is that with the 60-day cycle framework that we're working on, we are still before the midpoint of it. So therefore, just like over here, we went sideways up to the 30-day cycle and then shot up to the next target. It looks like with a high degree of probability that we may do that as well here. And if we can do that and go into the 30-day cycle, go past it, make another higher high, and then have the correction, that would be extremely bullish for the next cycle to go back up and make higher highs and higher lows. So we'll wait until that happens, but everything's going according to the plan, and I hope you've been riding all this from the 16,000 down up to the 22,800. And I know that a lot of people have missed out on this big move here, and I see a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of irritation as this has been going up, because so many people were waiting over here to have one more final dump. And despite myself saying many times that I have a core position in virtually all of my videos in the last 2 months, unfortunately the psychology is such that people don't do that, and I can understand that. I've been there myself and I've missed out on these moves in the past. And one thing I've learned is that you shouldn't really get too concerned with this big move here, simply because if you look historically, you'll realize actually that what goes up also comes down. And let me give you some examples. If we go back to 2018, and at the end of 2018 the market had bottomed out at 3,100, and we got a very big bounce here from around these levels at 3,100 all the way up to 4,238. And that was actually around about a 35% increase, very similar to what's going on at the moment. And this happened just within the space of 1 week. But look what happened. When we met some of our targets here, we came all the way down and gave up virtually all of the gains by coming down 21% over here. And that's your next opportunity really to pick it back up again, to go back to these levels here. But the sad truth is that when this comes back down, those people who are waiting over here unfortunately will think that this is the big move which we were waiting over here, is going to happen here, and once again they'll get caught out over here. And all I would say is that when you do get a pullback into the next 60-day cycle, then that would present a very good opportunity. And even if you think that it may come down, and it may do, because we don't know where the Bitcoin price is going to go, all we can do is look at the charts and ascertain what the market is telling us in terms of its price action. It would make sense to actually take some sort of a holding here, maybe 20%, 25%, 50%, whatever you feel comfortable, and then have another ride, because it looks to me with a high degree of probability that we may well have bottomed out at 15.4. And even if we haven't, we know from previous experience that it's better to ride the market down from those levels, because the risk reward ratio is such that there's much less downside risk than there is the potential for an upside rally. The market will always give people a second bite of the cherry, and whether you take it or not is another matter. And if you look back in 2015, similar thing happened. Once we'd bottomed out over here at around about the 160 level, we had a very big pump to the upside of around about 87%. And people who missed out on that then started getting on board at this point here, thinking that we're going to go much further. But unfortunately, the market has a way of punishing those people who climb on board late. So the name of the game is really patience. If you can be patient enough to wait for it to top out somewhere, and this was to meet these targets over here. Whilst there was a big pump here, look what happened afterwards. It came all the way straight down by about 30%. And that was your chance. Now, the critical thinking here is, the psychology is that although we'd bottomed out here and people were waiting for things to go much further, but as you can see, it never did so. And it just came and made higher lows here and higher highs over here. So that is your chance, if you want to take it, that if you missed out on this big move, if you're patient enough, you'll catch it at a lower price. And the question is, will you get in there? And that is the big question everybody has to answer. Like I said, I can only tell you what I would do, but certainly Bitcoin has a real habit of taking you up in your emotions, then down, then up, then down, then up, and then down. So you've got quite a few opportunities coming up, and it's up to every individual to grab those opportunities while you can. So please don't despair, whatever you do, because this market is such a roller coaster that you will get the ups and the downs, and it's the sensible, intelligent people who will try and catch the dips along the way. Okay, moving on to the miners, a very quick look at exactly what the miners did in terms of reflecting the current increase in the price in the Bitcoin price. So mostly it was a very good green day, although we didn't have the big pumps that we've had in the last few days. But certainly the bigger miners, the marathons, came up just under 10% up, Riot 7%, Cypher 16%. This is really motoring now. TerraWolf 5%, and the other notable ones, Hut 15%, and Any, another miner, which we haven't mentioned a lot of, about 12%. So as you can see, as Bitcoin's going up, it's reflected very, very strongly in the miners. And these are a leverage play. So I would be expecting, if Bitcoin keeps going up a little bit, that these are going to be much bigger figures in terms of 10, 15, 20, even 30% in the next few days, if Bitcoin continues to make its progress towards the 25,000 target that we have. And we'll have a look at the Bitcoin miners portfolio update in Monday's video. Okay, so we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope you found value in this special update, and if you did, then please do remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And if you've got any comments, questions or suggestions, then leave them in the comments below. And if you want to join us on Twitter, I do post a lot of stuff on Twitter. As you can see on Twitter, I do post quite a lot of charts and other bits and pieces, especially affirmations and other personal development stuff. So if you want to catch us on there, then look at any of our videos and go to the bottom and you'll see a link there for us. Okay, so until the next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.